Bigfoot featured on Maine Town's I Voted sticker. Now, this is not the first time. I've reported on previously that a Bigfoot was featured on a I Voted sticker. Residents of a Maine community performing their civic duty in this past Tuesday's state primary election had the opportunity to take home a cryptozoological collectible, an I Voted sticker featuring Bigfoot. According to a local media report, the delightful decal seen below for the town of Buxton was the brainchild of local officials John Myers and Angela Michi. While the community has no specific connection to the famed cryptid, the duo decided to showcase Sasquatch on the sticker as a way to get people excited about voting. There it is. That's pretty cool. Westbrook and Bangor have their own unique stickers for voters. This is the town of Buxton, Maine. Pretty cool, isn't it? By the way, this past Tuesday meant June 9th of this year. So just a few weeks ago. Pretty cool stuff, though, I'll tell you that much. Michigan sisters report possible Sasquatch sighting during walk along beach. A casual stroll along the beach took an unsettling turn for two Michigan sisters who spotted a sizable figure that may have been Sasquatch. The intriguing incident, shared with the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, occurred on May 19th near the Whitefish Point Lighthouse on the shore of Lake Superior. Witnesses Diane Ward and her sister Denise were walking her dog at dusk when they came to a sudden stop as they approached a huge pile of driftwood. The normally fearless Doberman sensed something amiss in the area and refused to move any further. Turning on her flashlight to see what had captured the canine's attention, Diane observed a distinct moving silhouette of what appeared to be a large man bent over behind the pile of driftwood. When she alerted her sister to the mysterious interloper, Denise looked in that direction and also saw the figure. The peculiar stranger appeared to be beginning to climb over the obstacle before ducking back down when she scanned her flashlight towards it. Chillingly, while seemingly as hiding from the duo, the unnerving figure popped its head up over the pile a couple of times as if to keep an eye on the pair. While the witnesses did not get a particularly clear look at the possible Bigfoot, Diane described it as boasting the build of a very big lumberjack with no neck. Uncertain as to the nature of the strange figure, and with their dog clearly concerned about the situation, the sisters smartly ran and got the hell out of there. Although the sisters cannot be certain they saw a Sasquatch, the figure's silence in the moment, its considerable size, left them wondering if that could have been the case. So, was it a Sasquatch or was it a strange person? A strange, large person? That's entirely possible. I don't rule that out. I don't know about this one, guys. The dog would normally, apparently according to the article, the dog would normally not be too concerned about other humans. But maybe in this case it was. I don't know. I'm gonna say this one is a possible, but who knows? Filmmakers claim they've caught America's Loch Ness Monster on video. My eyes were popping out. Two filmmakers claim to have unexpectedly filmed stunning footage of a mysterious creature known as America's Loch Ness Monster. Richard Rossi and Kelly Tabor filmed a children's movie based on Champ, the mythical serpent-like beast that for decades has been rumored to lurk in the 125-mile-long Lake Champlain, which straddles upstate New York, Vermont, and parts of Quebec. But it was only when they were editing parts of the footage 2 years later that they saw something swimming behind their small boat, which they are convinced is proof Champ is real. When I saw it, I saw like a skinny neck, and that the body got larger, Tabor told the Daily Mail. Is that supposed to be it right there? Of course, this is a famous Champ photo by the late Sandra Manzi from 1977. It looked like the skinny neck was oscillating back and forth as if it was grazing underwater. My eyes were just popping out. Rossi said Tabor called him over to review the footage for their movie Lucy and the Lake Monster, which left him stunned. The video caught the attention of the History Channel's hit series The Unexplained, whose producers told the filmmakers the clip is the strongest visual evidence of Champ since the 1977 photograph. The video is notable because it allows the long-rumored cryptid to be seen in scale next to the 11-foot boat in frame, Rossi said. Hundreds of sightings have been reported over the years, with the first notable occurrence all the way back in 1819 when Captain Crum claimed to have encountered a creature 187 feet long with the head of a seahorse. So, what is it? Is it Champ? We don't know. There's only the one photograph. But wait a minute, this is from above. So was it taken with a drone? Who knows? Okay, I'm trying to get this as a slideshow. It's supposed to be a slideshow, but it's not working, I guess. Don't know what to make of this one, guys. Could it be Champ or could it be something else? The jury is out pretty much on this one, I think. Interesting nonetheless if it is Champ. And speaking of Champ, here's another story. Watch, legendary monster filmed at Lake Champlain. There appears to be something moving through the water. There it is. Looks kind of like a log, a little bit. Oh, that video is from Katie Elizabeth, who has been one of the more prominent researchers into Champ. She's also been to Scotland to look into the Loch Ness Monster as well. Interesting if indeed this is footage of Champ. Very fascinating indeed. Sasquatch quote-unquote sightings reignite fervor and skepticism about ape-like beast. Latest reports from rural Ontario add to tales going back decades about bipedal creature also known as Bigfoot. On a recent evening, residents in a corner of rural Ontario reported a series of strange encounters. The birds stopped, the wind seemed to die down, and it got oddly quiet. That's when I noticed the movement ahead of me, one witness wrote. A strong, earthy smell hung in the air. Then a massive figure slowly stepped out from behind the trees. My heart instantly started racing. Moments later, it vanished back into the forest, and everything slowly went back to normal. The following morning, another witness reported seeing two creatures around sunrise. One big, one not so big. The cinnamon was prominent on the smaller one, they wrote. There was an earthy stench. The pair appeared to be scavenging through garbage. When the witness knocked on wood to scare them off, they knocked back. That scared me off. The creature's size, smell, and movement matched closely with descriptions of the Sasquatch or Bigfoot, a bipedal ape that believers say exists at the periphery of human understanding. Within days, the reports were circulating online and added to the Bigfoot Mapping Project, a database containing thousands of sightings from across the decades. In turn, the sightings were picked up by local news, prompting just the latest episode of fervor and skepticism over claims there are large, undiscovered species in the forests and woodlands of North America. What made the reports especially striking was their location. Chatham-Kent is one of Ontario's least forested, most intensely farmed regions. It is a vast landscape of cropland punctuated by small woodlots and forested river valleys, far removed from the primal wilderness associated with Sasquatch lore. Canada, unlike the United States, has a long history of cryptid sightings. Some, like the 1620s account of a mermaid that swam up to a boat, only to be struck in the head with an oar by a panicked sailor, stretch the imagination. Others, such as serpents in the Pacific, have been linked to cases of mistaken identity. Yet no cryptid has loomed larger than the Sasquatch. Humans are naturally curious, and while there can be something frightening about the unknown, there can also be something exciting about it, said Josh Redstone, a professor of philosophy at Carleton University. And for people who believe in Sasquatch, there is an excitement around the possibility of discovering something new. Centuries before European settlers arrived, indigenous nations told stories about large human-like creatures living in forests that transition between physical and spiritual worlds. Others believed it was a malevolent force that served as a cautionary tale for children. So basically, is it actually Sasquatch being seen in Ontario? In an area that seems to be not very well suited for Sasquatch? Or could it be somebody messing around in a suit? Or somebody more than one somebody messing around in suits? It's entirely possible. I don't put it past a lot of people to hoax stuff. So what do we have? Do we have a series of hoaxes or a series of actual Sasquatch reports? You decide. Now here's from the Loch Ness Mystery.blogspot.com Quest 2026 Trip Report. Once again, it was off to Loch Ness for the 4th Annual Surface Watch organized by the Loch Ness Center. Traveling up the main Highland Road towards Inverness on the last Friday of May, the first task on arriving at the loch was to collect a couple of trail cameras. This is not a quest activity in and of itself, and it was rather my own ongoing private project. In fact, the extended weekend could be described as the wider quest project supplemented by other activities by the Loch Ness Exploration Group and those carried out by individuals such as myself. So, a left turn towards the south side of the loch took me towards the cameras. I had left them there since my last visit around Easter, so it was only about 7 weeks since they were placed, as opposed to the longer 7 months over autumn and winter. Having checked into my accommodation, I headed over to the Drumnadrochit Hotel to meet up with fellow LNE members. The first thing to catch my attention was not anything Nessie related, but a group of classic cars parked for the night. To be more precise, it was a fleet of Austin Healey cars on a tour of Scotland. Beautiful cars. Having greeted the team, I was taken by Paul and Chris to see the latest and greatest L&E acquisition, the Explorer. As you can see from the image below, it is a boat bought a few months back and given an L&E makeover with a new coat of paint and some emblems added to it so that people know who this craft belongs to. Thanks to all involved in getting into Loch Ness shape, and I'm glad to say I completed the maiden voyage the evening before I arrived. So I don't want to give too much away. I'm going to include the link to this story below so you guys can check it out for yourselves. But it'd be interesting to see what kind of results they got from their expedition, from their surface watch, as it were. I think we would have heard something by now if there had been something to see or something to report. It would have been reported by now, I think. Legendary Argentine lake monster photographed? A remarkable photo from Argentina may offer a glimpse of the country's legendary lake monster, Nahuelito. According to a local media report, the intriguing image seen below was snapped on Sunday afternoon by a witness standing on the shore of Lake Nahuelhuapi. Much like Loch Ness, the sizable body of water has long been said to be home to a mysterious monster, and, as with Scotland's iconic cryptid, a handful of witnesses make headlines every few years with possible sightings of the creature. While not much is known about the latest incidents beyond when it occurred, the photo from the incident is rather compelling as it shows a large dark object that surfaced on the water long enough for the unnamed observer to snap a picture of the puzzling anomaly. When consulted about the curious image, filmmaker Miguel Angel Rossi, who directed the documentary on Nahuelito, told an Argentine media outlet that it's not clear what's happening there. What I can contribute is that in that place, every so often similar situations appear. Now, is that supposed to be it? There's something in that image, I don't know what. There's something there, I don't know what though. Very fascinating. Very interesting. And finally, here's a more recent Sasquatch report from the Lone Star State. Texas man reports clear as day Bigfoot sighting. A Texas motorist cruising down a highway in the middle of the night caught a clear look at what he says was a Sasquatch that briefly appeared on the side of the road. The remarkable sighting, reported to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, occurred last Friday at 1:20 a.m. in Upshur County in the eastern part of the state. According to witness Dustin Dean, he was driving along a two-lane highway with dense woods on either side when the suspected Sasquatch suddenly stepped out of the forest, seemingly about to cross the road. I had my bright lights on, he recalled, and I saw it clear as day. Dean estimated that the bipedal creature stood 7 to 8 feet tall with a chest that was around 3 to 4 feet wide. Realizing it had been spotted, the monstrous figure abandoned its plans to cross the road and slipped back into the woods. However, in that brief moment before it disappeared, Dean was able to discern quite a few details about its appearance. To that end, he observed that the creature's hair was matted with a brownish-red coloring. With the possible Bigfoot largely keeping its eyes on Dean's oncoming vehicle as it made its retreat, the witness marveled that I got such a good look at its face that I could still see it. Interesting. So, did this guy see a Bigfoot? It's entirely possible. I don't know. I wasn't there to see it with him, so I can't say for sure. But it's fascinating nonetheless. And that's going to do it for this week. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. I always say that, but I always mean it. I will continue to do this as long as you guys want me to. And for 11 years now, I've been doing this, going on 12 years. And I've been fascinated by some of the stories that I have reported on. Now, I will continue to report on those things because I enjoy it. And I enjoy bringing this information to you guys. And by the way, I know that I got several more subscribers. I got about 50 more subscribers. I'm not sure what my subscription rate is. I haven't really checked it lately. But still, I appreciate all the subscriptions. I appreciate you guys. You, like I say, you guys are the heart of the show. And I always appreciate when I get new subscribers. And hey, keep it up. Keep watching, and I'll keep producing great content. Such as in 2 weeks when I will be back. So y'all be good or be good. This is HBM's Cryptid-Corner.